So as anticipated, today I have dropped a little bit of weight. I'm 65.2 kilograms first thing. And that's to be expected because the EDT session, the 40-20 training, and the race, the 100k race yesterday, burnt a hell of a lot of calories. But I think over the course of the week, the weight will creep back up a little bit and we'll see what will happen. And it's still very important, even though today is a rest day, to fuel up properly. And the muscles will still be in repair mode for about 24 to 48 hours after the training. And so I'll typically have a scoop and a half of whey protein to deliver the amino acids to continue the process of repair. No coffee in that, a little bit of coconut milk. And to fill me up, make me feel good, provide some carbs to fuel tomorrow's training, a bagel, but just with the jam, not the peanut butter. And by losing the peanut butter, I save about 100 to 150 calories, depending on how much you use. Again, just keeps the sort of small reduction in calories to help encourage a calorie deficit. Albeit on a rest day, you're not going to probably lose much body fat. And you may have noticed that I flipped straight into that man thing since I've been home alone, using the same red plate and knife and fork, meal after meal after meal. Don't know why we do it.
Speaking of consistency, my recycling says it all.
I spent the best part of 20 years working for that company there, NatWest. Now, it used to be RBS when I was working for it. In that exact building, that building, and another one further back up the road there. So as is so often the case for me, once again it's salad for lunch with a bit of buckwheat added as well. And a great thing about veggies, especially during a fat loss phase, is that they're rich in nutrients, delivering vitamins, fibre, slow digesting carbohydrates, and very importantly, you can eat as much of this as you want and it will fill you up and won't do anything to dent your weight loss aspirations. And for dessert, I'll probably have about a fifth of this bar of Green and Black's chocolate. Whether you're at work or out travelling, it's always good to have ready to hand some decent snacks that both fill you up but also deliver some decent nutrients like protein, carbs and fibre, and obviously in the fruit, plenty of vitamins. But also for me, satisfy my sweet tooth. And by the time we're getting up to the 400 calorie end of the range with this vegan cookie, I'd probably classify that as more of a meal replacement. It's also really important to note that often if you're dehydrated or you haven't taken on enough water, that can make you feel hungrier. So I would definitely recommend maxing out on the water when you're kind of cutting the calories a bit. And you know, for those that are okay with the artificial sweeteners, Diet Coke can also be pretty filling because it's carbonated. But my preference is for these naturally sweetened sodas because they are only 65 calories a can. They taste good, and again, because they're carbonated, they fill you up. Well, somehow I managed to contrive to delete all of the footage from what I had for dinner last night, but it really doesn't matter one iota, because guess what I'm having tonight? Exactly the same. So there's a piece of breaded cod here with some low-fat coleslaw on the top, and look, this is the pack of two, one I had last night. I'm also going to have an apple. And just prior to having my tea, I had a few cashew nuts and some dried cranberries, not too many. And that's exactly what I often do of an evening. And really, there is no need for me to look to cut the calories from my tea because I've made little savings elsewhere. Now, I'm a man who's very easily pleased. And indeed, last night, I was telling you that I was very excited because for the first time, I was trying Tesco's new chocolate salted caramel rice cakes. And they taste every bit as good as they look. And they come in at about 75 calories per cake. Therefore, eating a couple of those is going to do absolutely nothing to dent your fat loss aspirations. However, each cake will make you feel good and satisfy that sweet tooth craving. Therefore, they're going to become a staple in my own food pantry. And I think you get the point. It's 6 AM and it's time for some EDT and then an over-under session. So first thing this morning, I weighed in at 65.6 kilograms and that compares to 65.2 kilograms yesterday. And as predicted, I have put on a little bit of weight as I've recovered from the 97-kilometre race, and also as a result of a sort of less exercise on the rest day. And whilst that's a little bit disappointing, it's entirely to be expected, and I guess it's kind of helpful in terms of the vlog, because it isn't realistic to expect really big jumps down in body weight and fat loss like that. And you can see here that we're getting to that time of year where it's sufficiently cold that grown men aged 40 through 44, who might that be, start dressing like teenagers and rocking the hoodies.
15 minutes of EDT, pairing pause bench press and pull up. Reps on the bench aren't a bit faster, I'm going to drop the weight off a little bit.
Well, the gym got too busy to film anything else, but I can report I completed 15 mini sets of the 2 reps of pause bench and pull up. And I guess as for the deadlift and the military press at the weekend, even though I started with my 5 rep max, i.e. 65 kilograms on the bench, I had to drop it down to 62.5 kilograms in order to maintain nice form and a good rep speed throughout the 15 minutes. Overall, completing about 15 little mini sets.
I'm just going over to start the first of the 2-minute segments at 270 watts. And then there'll be a 30-second sprint at 355 watts. And I have to repeat this 12 times, so for 30 minutes. I've done it once before, but that was kind of back in June. So I know this is going to be super difficult. I'll report back in a bit. Just over halfway. Feeling okay. Heart rate's quite high. This is a trick I learned off GCN and Emma Pooley, who holds the QOM on Alpe d'Huez. She said to be a good climber, focus on threshold or just below and intersperse it with little bursts of power for 20 to 30 seconds. Hence, overs and unders. Is my heart rate rising? Yes, it is. Very helpful Zwift. 10 seconds away now from the 7th sprint at 3:55. Here we go. BRG lags to bring the power up, but also it lags to bring the power down. There's the lag on the way down. I'm a minute into my 11th set of 2 minutes at 270 watts. This is tough, but I've got it under control. Focusing on the breathing. Nice cadency. A bit too fast. According to Zwift, not me. Coming up for the 11th sprint at 3:55. Now. It's feeling a lot heavier now. And over the marker, remaining vigilant for ERG. And as ever, this is a low fat, low carb protein shake and caffeine and water, of course, ag well. Sans pan. I want to feel like I've got more in the tank at the end of this. I think I have. And into warm down. That felt good. Very hard, but I feel uplifted. That was pretty intense. And it brings me on to another point about fat loss. You often see people in the gym walking very slowly for a long time on the treadmill or cycling very slowly on the bike. And that's definitely better than doing nothing. But training intensity is important. And intensity is relative to your own abilities. Some cyclists would have found what I just did very, very easy. Others, impossible. I found it very hard, quite intense. Therefore I know that not only have I burnt plenty of calories during this session, I'll continue to burn calories for up to 24 hours afterwards as a result of the training. And it all contributes to fat loss. Whereas the lower intensity work doesn't burn calories for as long afterwards. And also it takes a lot longer, therefore it doesn't really fit into a busy schedule. This whole session is going to be about 44 minutes because I cut short the warm-up. So no matter what your abilities, and whether you're walking or sprinting, make sure that at the time you have your cardio work and indeed your weight training, you're pushing hard. Not to failure, not to the point where you're throwing up or anything like that, but you're really getting your heart rate up and getting a nice sweat on. You do whatever it is that you want to do, but whoever you are and whatever you do, please remember to live, thrive and subscribe.
Still home alone and still using the same red plate and cutlery, tonight I bring you a brand new culinary delight. I give you white bagel with prawns and low-fat coleslaw, and of course, an apple. All very low fat, a decent amount of protein, and plenty of carbs to help fuel the next training session.